Everyone, in this video I will discuss IND AS-113 fair value measurement, which is another important mid-size IND AS. First we will understand what is fair value measurement. First we have to understand, okay, fair value measurement is whether a market based measurement or a entity specific measurement. First, the basic thing in respect of this IND AS need to be clear in mind that fair value measurement, it's a market based measurement, not an entity specific measurement. Now, what is market based measurement? Market based measurement means we determine the fair value using the market data, okay, that we will understand later that how we use market data. And now I am taking some examples, like we use market P ratio, okay, we use EBITDA multiple, and accordingly on the basis of our earnings and EBITDA we calculate fair value. So it means what? In short, if I can say that in market based measurement we determine fair value using the market related data, okay, rather than relying on entities internal cost or entities risk and reward, okay. In contrary, in entity specific measurement what we do, we considers entity specific, okay, on the basis of entities risk, on the basis of entities internal, and under entity specific measurement it depends upon unique characteristics of the company, okay, rather than solely only relying on the market based data or market basis price. We consider various factors like how entity will be used, entity's risk, okay, and the risk associated with the entity's operation and all. So these are the basic thing that we need to clear, that fair value measurement is a market based measurement. Now we will discuss what is fair value, okay. Fair value means what? It's a price that we will receive to sell an asset or we will pay to transfer liability, okay. Price that we will receive to sell an asset or to pay to transfer liability, under which situation? Under orderly transaction, in an orderly transaction, okay, and between market participants under current market situations. These terms need to be understood very clearly, okay. Fair value is the price that we receive to sell asset and that we will pay to transfer liability. For this we consider exit price, okay, that we will receive to sell an asset in an orderly transaction. Orderly transaction means there should be no any kind of any stress sale or any sale under or any liquidation, okay, in an orderly transaction and between market participant. It means what? We will not consider the in respect of related party sale, okay. Here in market participants means between the knowledgeable and related parties, okay, under current market situation that I discussed earlier, on the basis of a market situation, okay, on the basis of a market driven data we determine the fair value, the price, the exit price that we will receive on pay to sale asset or to pay or that we will pay to transfer liability, okay. So these are all basic concept of what is fair value and how we measure fair value. Now we will have to understand that items, okay, we will see some example of items for which fair value is used, okay, like in respect of PP, or you can say intangible assets. PP covers which IND AS? IND AS 16, and intangible asset IND AS 38, which is measured at fair value. When it is measured at fair value? In case of revaluation model. As we know, subsequently we can measure in cost model and revaluation model in respect of PP and intangible asset. So in respect of revaluation model we use we measure at a fair value. And next, there are multiple examples, okay, like if you consider IND AS 109, what was the provision? IND AS 109 in respect of financial asset or financial liability, initially we measure at which value? At fair value, and subsequently for financial asset there were three options: at amortized cost method, at FBTPL method, and FBT-OCI. And FBTPL and FBT-OCI, for that we need fair value measure, and for financial liability there were subsequently two methods, FBTPL and ACM. For that FBTPL we need fair value, and in case if as per IND AS you can say 105. Okay, non-current asset held for sale. For that, what was the provision? We used to compare carrying amount with the fair value less cost to sell, their fair value required. And if I take example of Ind AS 36, that was for impairment. Here where we also use in respect of recoverable value to determine recoverable value, which were higher of fair value less cost to sell and value in use. For that we need fair value. And in respect of biological assets, which were Ind AS 41, that we measure at fair value less cost to sell. So these are all examples, okay, that will help you to understand the need of a fair value, the situations where we used to measure at a fair value. Okay. Now there are two concepts in respect of that fair value measurement, which is entity specific restriction and the asset and liability specific restriction. Okay. So while determining fair value for the assets or liabilities, okay, whether we will consider entity specific restriction or asset or liability based specific restriction, that we need to understand. Okay, that's that I will make you understand on the basis of on the help of example. Okay, that was example of ICI from ICI study mat. Now, okay, suppose, okay, there is one land, okay, in which entity having restriction that he can't develop commercial house, okay, due to its business objective, entity can't develop commercial house in that land, okay, but and he want to sell land, but to a buyer to whom he will sell land, he can make commercial house. Okay, so it means what? The restriction is in specific to entity. Okay, restriction is related to having restriction is only to the entity. Okay, not in the asset, because in that land entity can't make the develop commercial house, right, because of its own restriction, due to maybe due to his business objective or something. Okay, but whom he will going to sell, buyer जो है वहाँ पे commercial house बना सकता है, उसको कोई restriction नहीं है. इसका मतलब क्या है, यहाँ पे entity specific restriction है. तो while determining fair value, तो how we will fair value determine? On the basis of that entity specific restriction or on the basis of asset? Obviously on the basis of asset liability based restriction. तो यहाँ पे जो fair value जब determine करी जाएगी, तो यहाँ पे commercial house के basis पे ही determine किया जाएगा fair value, कि market में on the basis of a market. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे जो है एंटिटी के ऊपर क्या रेस्ट्रिक्शन है उसको कंसीडर नहीं किया जाएगा, मार्केट बेस्ड जो है वो एसेट एंड लायबिलिटी बेस्ड रेस्ट्रिक्शन को देखा जाएगा. ठीक है, लाइक अगर इसका एक और एग्जांपल है, ये भी मैं ऐसे ही मैट वाले ले रही हूँ कि सपोज कार है, ठीक है, वो क्या कर सकते हैं, उसको प्राइवेट यूज़ के लिए ये कर सकते हैं, प्राइवेट यूज़ कर सकते हैं, उसका कमर्शियल पर्पस के लिए यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो उसका जब अब ये क्या है, कार प्राइवेट पर्पस के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं, कमर्शियल पर्पस के लिए यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो इसमें क्या है, एसेट का बेस रेस्ट्रिक्शन है. तो इसलिए जब हम लोग प्राइस जब डिटरमाइन करेंगे उस कार के रेस्पेक्ट में, तो हम लोग उस चीज़ को कंसिडर करके डिटरमाइन करेंगे कि हाँ वो प्राइवेट यूज़ के हिसाब से यूज़ होगा. तो ये दिस आर ऑल थिंग्स, ठीक है, दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. Now we will understand the two types of market, okay, which is principal market, and when we will consider principal market for determining the fair value, okay, and when we will consider the most advantageous market, first we will understand. Okay, so this will I will make you understand with the help of example. Obviously that examples I will be explaining you from that were taken from the ICI mat only. Okay, so suppose, okay, shares, I am taking example of financial asset, which is shares. Okay, shares is listed on, there is one share that is listed on both BSE and NSE. Okay, and in but in BSE there is highest volume of transactions happens with highest number of level of activities as compared to other market, which is NSE. Okay, in BSE highest volume of transactions and with highest volume of activities in comparison to NSE. So principal market means what? Principal market is a market where the assets are being transacted with the highest volume and with the highest level of the activities in comparison to any other market. So as per my example, principal market will be BSE. Okay, then in that case price in that market will be used. Okay, even if other market is most advantageous, but we will consider the principal market for determining the fair value. Okay, so price for fair value we will take for BSE only. Okay, for the BSE that of shares. Now for determining fair value, what we consider? Sale price less transportation cost. Okay, one thing need to be clear in mind, that we don't consider the transaction cost. Okay, it means selling cost and all, we consider the transportation cost, sale price less transportation cost, which is basically for fair value calculation. Now when we use most advantageous market, when we are not able to determine the principal market. Okay, then in that case there were multiple market A, suppose market B. We don't know which is a market which one of the market is a principal market. So first we need to check which of the market, which among the three is a advantageous market. First we will check that, and suppose we find that market B is an advantageous market, and accordingly we determine the fair value in the same way just like in principal market. See with example like sell price. Now important thing, for determining the most advantageous market, we will deduct both means with transportation cost 2 and transaction cost 2. Okay, we will deduct both. Suppose it's 60, 50, 40. So with my example, market A is the most advantageous market. Now we will determine the fair value. Now what will be the fair value? Fair value is for market A we will take sales less transportation cost for determining the fair value. Understood? But it means what? For fair value calculation we does not consider transaction cost, but while checking the market, which one of the market is most advantageous, for that we consider the transaction cost too. Okay. You will find also some 2-3 sums in this concept. So I am trying to clear this concept very well with the help of examples. Now we will check some fair value rules in respect of a non-financial asset if we determine fair value and in respect of a financial asset. Okay, asset. First is rule number 1, which is talks about the highest and the best use. Now highest and the best use covers 3 things. The asset should be physically possible, okay, and next should be legally permissible and financially feasible. Now physical possible means what? There should not be any restriction in respect of the location or size, okay, of the asset. It means what? We consider in physically possible physical characteristics of the assets, and in respect of legal permissible we consider that whether there is any legal restrictions or not, okay, any zoning restrictions that can be applicable to the property. So we consider legal restrictions, and in respect of financially feasible we check that whether that asset is capable to generate cash flow or not, okay. That depends also to determine the fair value, whether or not it's capable to generate cash flow or not. So for highest and best use we consider 3 things. First one is should be physically possible, legally permissible or not, and third one is it's feasible or not. Now next rule 2, we check the valuation premise. Valuation premise means that with the asset that we are going to selling, it's on a standalone basis or on a combination of assets, whether it's one asset or 2, 3, 4 assets. The fair value the determination also depends in this case too. Now for financial asset, under financial asset there is no concept of rule 1. Financial asset means what? Shares, debentures, okay. So in respect of financial asset there is no concept of any highest or best use, okay. For that we consider valuation premise, that is rule 2, that the shares we are like selling, like it is a single or combination, okay. Now also here we make 2 adjustments, 2 deductions while we determine the fair value, okay. That we will understand later. Like suppose if I say with example, like if we use EBITDA multiple of a company and we determine the enterprise value in respect of that. Enterprise value means basically value of the firm, and then we calculate the value of equity, yani share price, value of share price, then we make accordingly on that 2 adjustments. That adjustment in respect of liquidity discount. Liquidity discounts adjustment we give because the shares suppose यहाँ पे there is one shares that जो जल्दी क्या होते हैं कि वो जल्दी लिक्विड नहीं होते, मतलब वो इजीली नहीं सोल होते, नहीं परचेज होते हैं, ठीक है। तो उसके लिए क्या करते हैं हम लोग, उस जो रेस्ट्रिक्शन डिस्काउंट तो वहीं पे देते हैं ना जहाँ पे कुछ रेस्ट्रिक्शन हो, ठीक है, और उसको हमको क्या करना पड़े, उस चीज़ को हमको करना हो, जल्दी से सेल करना हो, तो इसलिए यहाँ पे लिक्विडिटी डिस्काउंट होती है और एक होती है नॉन कंट्रोलिंग स्टेक डिस्काउंट। नॉन कंट्रोलिंग स्टेक डिस्काउंट मतलब क्या हुआ, नॉन कंट्रोलिंग मतलब कि सपोज 5% जो है यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोग उस इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू के रिस्पेक्ट में हमको 5% के रिस्पेक्ट में हमको वैल्यू निकालना है। तो यहाँ पे क्या है, वो तो टोटल वैल्यू आया, तो 5% के रिस्पेक्ट में जो वैल्यू होगी वो तो कम होगी, इसलिए उसके रिस्पेक्ट में हम लोग डिस्काउंट लगाते हैं। तो लिक्विडिटी डिस्काउंट समझ में आ गया। लिक्विडिटी डिस्काउंट मतलब क्या हो गया कि जो इजिली जो है क्या होता है, बिकते नहीं है। तो अब जब इजिली बिकते नहीं है तो उस चीज़ का क्या होगा, वैल्यू मार्केट में कम होगा, तो इसलिए क्या करते हैं हम लोग उसके रिस्पेक्ट में डिस्काउंट का एडजस्टमेंट करते हैं और नेक्स्ट जो एक नॉन कंट्रोलिंग स्टेक डिस्काउंट का एडजस्टमेंट करते हैं। Now we will understand the fair value hierarchy, okay. After that we will understand the valuation approach in respect of that. Now first, what is level 1 input? Level 1 input means what? The quoted price, okay, that is in quoted price for identical assets or liabilities in active market, okay. Quoted price, okay, for identical assets or liability in active market without एनी एडजस्टमेंट, ठीक है। तो ये कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होना चाहिए लेवल 1 इनपुट कहलाने के लिए। लेवल 1 इनपुट इज द मोस्ट जेन्युइन इनपुट, ओके, एंड लेवल 3 इज द वर्स्ट, ठीक है। क्यों वर्स्ट वो बाद में, पहले लेवल 1 मतलब इनपुट क्या होता है, जैसे मान लो हमको क्या है, रिलायंस शेयर का प्राइस चाहिए, ठीक है, और वो जो है एकदम सेम जो है वो रिलायंस शेयर का प्राइस जो है वो लिस्टेड स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में जो है वो लिस्टेड है, तो फिर उसका जो हमको प्राइस मिल गया वो एक्टिव मार्केट में, ठीक है, और वो भी तो सेम हमको शेयर का प्राइस मिल गया, ठीक है। आइडेंटिकल मतलब क्या, सिमिलर नहीं, सेम एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटी का, ठीक है, लिस्टेड प्राइस इन एक्टिव मार्केट मिल गया, एक्टिव मार्केट में मिल गया विदाउट एनी एडजस्टमेंट। अब इसमें से कोई भी कंडीशन अगर ब्रीच होता है तो वो क्या बन जाती है, लेवल 2 इनपुट। लेवल 2 इनपुट में इसका मतलब क्या आ जाएगा, अगर कोटेड प्राइस रहा फॉर सिमिलर एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज रहता है, भले ही वो एक्टिव मार्केट सिमिलर एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज रहता है तो लेवल 2 कहलाएगा। सपोज फॉर आइडेंटिकल एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज सेम के लिए, बट इन इनएक्टिव मतलब वो मार्केट एक्टिव नहीं उसमें है तो वो लेवल 2 में आ जाएगा। कुछ भी एडजस्टमेंट अगर हो गई, तो वो लेवल 2 में आ जाएगा, ठीक है। तो इट मीन्स व्हाट कि कुछ लड़ने करने जैसा नहीं है। लेवल 1 वाला जो है, अगर लेवल 1 की कंडीशन कुछ भी ब्रीच होती है तो लेवल 2 कहलाएगी, और लेवल 2 में जो होती है वो बेसिकली क्या होती है, वो प्राइस जो है वो मार्केट ड्रिवन डेटा होती है, ठीक है। मार्केट ड्रिवन डेटा मीन्स व्हाट, यहाँ पे जो होती है, इसके अलावा जो भी हम लोग अदर ऑब्जर्वेबल इनपुट भी देखते हैं। अदर ऑब्जर्वेबल इनपुट मतलब जो ये मैंने आपको पहले एग्जांपल दिया था ना, पी रेशियो, EBITDA मल्टीपल, okay, these are all examples of level 2 input only, okay। so these two are we called as observable input, and level 3 is unobservable input, okay, and level 1 is the most genuine one. And in if any of the condition breaches of level 1 in respect of a level 1 input rules, then that will cover under level 2 input, and other observable input under level 2 input, that is on the basis of market driven data, which is basically P ratio, EBITDA multiple and all that. Now level 3 input, under level 3 input, it depends upon the financial forecast, okay, and here entities जो प्राइस जो डिटरमाइन किया जाता है वो एंटिटी के खुद के डेटा के ऊपर बेस्ड होता है, ठीक है। जैसे कि एग्जांपल इसका लो मैं, इसमें फ्री कैश फ्लो टू फर्म, फ्री कैश फ्लो टू इक्विटी, जो हम लोग SFM या AFM में जो बिजनेस वैल्यूएशन है जो पढ़ते थे, FCFF मेथड, FCFE मेथड, अर्निंग कैपिटलाइजेशन मेथड, जो कि एंटिटी के खुद के डेटा के ऊपर डिपेंड होता है, फाइनेंशियल फोरकास्ट के बेसिस पे होता है, इसलिए उसको हम लोग जेन्युइन नहीं मानते हैं, क्योंकि वो तो मार्केट ड्रिवन है ही नहीं, तो एंटिटी के स्पेसिफिक में है, एंटिटी के अपने डेटा, अपने फाइनेंशियल फोरकास्ट, कैश फ्लो पे बेस्ड होती है, इसलिए उसको क्या बोलते हैं, लेवल 3 इनपुट बोलते हैं, उसको लेवल 3 का इनपुट माना जाता है। तो इसका एग्जांपल मैं लूँ, जैसे FCFF मेथड, FCFE मेथड, जिससे डायरेक्ट जो है वो शेयर्स का वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी आ जाता था, वैल्यू FCFE मेथड। उसके बाद फिर, और ये फिर कैश फ्लो टू फर्म था, इंटरप्राइज वैल्यू आता था पूरा इससे। उसके बाद फिर अगर मैं लूँ अर्निंग कैपिटलाइजेशन मेथड, ठीक है। तो दीज आर ऑल एग्जाम्पल्स फॉर लेवल 3 इनपुट। Now we will understand the valuation method, okay। There are 3 methods: market approach, income approach and cost approach. Market approach is basically a level 2 input, okay. There we use that I said, the determine the market price of shares on the basis of a P ratio, and shares we determine the value of shares on the basis of EBITDA multiple. Now if I take one example, like in respect of P ratio, how we will determine, what is the formula of P ratio, basically that is a market price per share divided by earning per share. From there we directly can get the value per share. So if I take, okay, P ratio of comparable company, these are all comparable company method. So for P ratio for comparable company, as I told the basic thing, that we determine the fair value on the basis of market based measurement only. So we will take P ratio of comparable company, and then if we multiply the P ratio with our earnings, okay, if we multiply with earnings, then we will get the total value. In that case we need to divide with the number of shares, then we will get per share, okay. Now if we multiply directly with earning per share, then we will get directly per share value, okay. So it's basically this thing. Now in respect of EBITDA multiple, what we will do, we will get the in order to determine the value of the firm or enterprise value, you can say, then we need to multiply the EBITDA multiple into with our EBITDA. Now EBITDA multiple we will take from the comparable company, okay. Now we will multiply the EBITDA multiple with the EBITDA, with our EBITDA. Now we will get EV. EV means what? Value of firm. As we learned in the SFM chapter also, SFM in respect of business valuation chapter, EV is EV, value of firm, is the same. And another way of determining the value of the firm, which was value of equity plus value of debt less cash and cash equivalent, okay. So accordingly, suppose we get EV 5 lakh. Now we will make adjustments in that to get the value of equity. Now what was EV? EV equals to value of equity plus value of debt less cash and cash. Now for that we have to do what? We get EV. Now less value of debt, add cash and cash. From that we will get what? Value of equity. And now, as I discussed earlier, in respect of financial asset, we have to make two adjustment. That was for liquidity discount and for non-controlling stake discount. From this, we will get the equity, total equity value of the company, and if required per share, then we will divide the number of shares of the company, then we will get the per share value. Now, this was all about market based approach, okay, and where we determine fair value on the basis of market driven data that I took example. And in respect of income approach, this is basically a level 3 input where we use fair value example. If I can take on the basis of entities financial forecast basis, okay, this it could be free cash flow to firm, free cash flow to equity, or could be earning capitalization method and all that. Now in respect of cost approach, what is cost approach? Cost approach means it basically talks about a replacement cost. रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट का अगर मैं मतलब बोलूँ, मतलब कि जैसे सपोज आपके पास जो एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज़ है वो अगर आज आप मार्केट में खरीदने जाओ तो कितने में पड़ेगी, तो वही जो वैल्यू है उसी को बोलते हैं रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट, ठीक है, उस मेथड में फेयर वैल्यू को डिटरमाइन करना. So these were all concept of the fair value measurement which is IND AS 113 that I tried to make you understand with the help of examples and practically. और इसी तरह से मैं नेक्स्ट जो है और भी इंपॉर्टेंट IND AS की वीडियोस लेके आने वाली हूँ. सो इफ़ यू लाइक माई वीडियोस एंड प्लीज सब्सक्राइब. थैंक यू.